viewers, picking up a thread from the first part of my lecture, let us know more about some great teachers that are gems of our society. These teachers taught many great people and took them to their target. A teacher is not just someone who teaches lessons and subjects. A teacher can be a person who teaches morality, character building, art, sports, a belief, a faith, or even a way of living. He or she is a guide, mentor, philosopher, and a friend. A teacher guides the student to explore his or her talents and become successful in life. There are teachers in the world who just teach the subject. Others are visionaries who have motivated hundreds and thousands of students. Let us know about some great teachers of the past. Lord Krishna is the teacher who taught in Bhagavad Gita the basic principles of life. Since his teachings apply equally to all, he is called Jagat Guru, the world teacher. As a teacher of devotion, Shri Krishna reigns supreme as the ultimate image and guide of divine love. For Karma Yoga and transformative action, Krishna's counseling to Arjun in the Gita is foundation teaching. This shows a real Guru-Shishya relationship. What does Bhagavad Gita say about teachers? Bhagavad Gita says a teacher should behave properly even before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya or the ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principles of Shastra to reach the common man. Lord Krishna in the Uddhav Gita says, we need not go far to find a good guru. There are many all around us. He gives a list of gurus whose examples are there for us to follow. And the list includes such varied things as the earth, serpents, doves, and so on. Now here on your screens you can see another great teacher, Gautam Buddha, meditating and giving sermons to his audience. Gautam Buddha was probably the first teacher in Indian history. He was born in 480 BC. He was a king, but he renounced his kingdom and luxurious life in want to salvation. He followed a strict penance under Bodhi tree and later founded Buddhism. He then went on, educated humanity through his eightfold path. He is revered as a fully enlightened being who taught a path to nirvana, freedom from ignorance, craving, rebirth, and suffering. His eightfold path advocated 8 practices, and these were right view, right intention, right speech, right livelihood, right conduct, right mindfulness, right effort, and right samadhi. As per his belief, these practices will help people put an end to every kind of suffering. Some of his famous quotes were, "You only lose what you cling to." He went on to say, "Win in your mind and you will win in your reality." He also said, "You cannot always control what goes outside, but you can always control what goes inside." Parshuram is another very eminent teacher. He served as a mentor to Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya. He taught the art of warfare, to Karan, the friend of Duryodhan and the eldest son of Kunti. Another teacher of this era was Dronacharya. Dronacharya was guru of Pandavas and Kauravas. He taught the princes of Hastinapur with the knowledge of weapons and the art of warfare. A Bhil tribal boy, Eklavya was pseudo-taught by Dronacharya. Eklavya made an idol of the Guru and practiced archery in front of the idol. Dronacharya asked Eklavya for his thumb in Guru Dakshina, which Eklavya happily gave to Dronacharya as Guru Dakshina. Another sage who is very popular is Valmiki. Valmiki is popularly and generally known as the sage who wrote Ramayana. But later, he also was the teacher of Lord Rama and children of Lord Rama and Sita, that is their sons Love and Kush. Vashishta was known as one of the great Saptarishis. He was the teacher of Dashrath's son, Lord Rama, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughan. Vishwamitra was one of the most venerated rishis. He is credited to have written the Gayatri Mantra. Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, was an ancient polymath who was active as a teacher, author, strategist, philosopher, economist, jurist, and royal advisor to Chandragupta Maurya. His famous quotes were, "No one can defeat a powerful man." He went on to say, "Education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty and the youth." He also said, "Never settle for anything less than what you deserve. It's not pride, it's self-respect." Who does not remember Swami Dayanand Saraswati? Everyone does. Swami Dayanand Saraswati was an educationist and founder of Arya Samaj. He was a leader of Hindu reform movements during the Vedic period. One of the best teachers of Indian history, he was a scholar of the Vedic lore and Sanskrit language. He took stands for women's rights such as the right to their education. Some of Swamiji's famous quotes are, "Validation of culture of a child is itself validation of a child itself." He went on to say, "Give the world the best you have and the best will come back to you." He also said, "The highest form of service is to help a person who is incapable of thanking in return." He said, "A virtuous truth speaking and educated person is Arya, while opposite to that is a thief." Another very important teacher, a women teacher, Savitri Bai Phule, is known as India's first female teacher and a pioneer of India's feminist movement. Together with her husband, she opened a school in 1848 where she enrolled untouchable girls of society. This was a revolution. Her journey as a teacher was not easy as she was often humiliated by the upper caste. She raised her strong opinion against the atrocities committed on women, especially on the women of lower caste. Her famous quotes were, "The lack of learning is nothing but gross bestiality. It is through the acquisition of knowledge that one loses his lower status and achieves the higher one." So she gave so much of emphasis to knowledge. Her next quote was, "We shall overcome and success will be ours in future. The future belongs to us." She said, and her very motivating quote is, "Sit idle no more. Go get education." The next guru whom we like to pay respect to is Guru Rabindranath Tagore. He is considered one of the best teachers in Indian history. and is still remembered for his scholastic excellence. He was a polymath, an eminent teacher, a writer, a painter, poet, and the freedom fighter who fought against the British government. Rabindranath started an open-air school known as the Patha Bhavan at Shanti Niketan, where the culture of the East and the West met in common fellowship and thereby strengthening the fundamental condition of world peace. This Gurukul gradually developed into an international university named Vishwa Bharati, where the culture of the East and the West met in fellowship. He wrote our national anthem, Jan Gan Man. Gurudev believed that the main objective of teaching is not to give explanations but to knock on the doors of the mind. In 1913, Tagore became the first non-European to win a Nobel Prize in Literature and second non-European to receive a Nobel Prize after Theodore Roosevelt for Gitanjali, his best-known collection of poetry. Who can forget the lines where the mind is without fear and the head is held high? His other famous quotes are, "It is very simple to be happy, but it is very difficult to be simple." The highest education is that which does not merely give us information, but makes our life in harmony with all existence. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya was an educationist and an independent activist in Indian history. Who can again forget him? He founded the largest residential university in Asia, the Banaras Hindu University or Kashi Hindu Vishwavidyalaya. Pandit Malviya popularized the slogan Satya Mein Jayate of India. He is hailed as one of the best educationists of India. He was a freedom fighter and the founder of Akhil Bharatiya Hindu Mahasabha. Some of his famous quotes: "If you admit internal purity of human soul, you or your religion can never get impure or defiled in any way by touch or association with any man. Fearlessness is the only way to freedom. Be fearless and fight for justice," was one of his other slogans. The great Swami Vivekananda, one cannot forget his speech in America. He was a chief disciple of the 19th century Indian mystic Ramakrishna. He was not only one of the great Indian philosophers and reformers, but was known for his unparalleled intellect and one of the best teachers of India. He founded Ramakrishna Mission, where monks and lay people jointly undertook propagation of practical Vedanta and various forms of social service. His teachings and philosophy applied practical Vedanta to various aspects of education, faith, character building, as well as social issues pertaining to India. He propagated the Gurukul system, where the educational institutions and the homes are blended together and where the teachers and pupil live together and work in close and harmonious relationship. He empowered students to handle different life situations and become good citizens. He believed that every individual had infinite potential which can be manifested as excellence in every walk of life. He is best known in the United States for his groundbreaking speech to the 1893 World Parliament of Religions in Chicago, in which he introduced Hinduism to America and called for religious tolerance and an end to fanaticism. He said, "Arise, awake, stop not until the good goal is reached. Everything is easy when you are busy. but nothing is easy when you're lazy. He also said, talk to yourself at least once in a day. Otherwise, you may miss meeting an excellent person in this world. In other words, talk to yourself. Some of his famous quotes, which are very inspiring, are, education is the manifestation of perfection already in men. Next he said, if the poor cannot come to education, education must reach them at the plough, in the bakery, factory, elsewhere. Coming to Munshi Premchand, he was a school teacher and a writer. He was a teacher in school in Chunnar, Uttar Pradesh. He was influenced by the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. He is known for his contribution to modern Hindustani literature. He was one of the first authors to write about caste hierarchies and plights of women and laborers prevalent in the society of 1880s. His works like Godan, Seva Sadan, Karma Bhumi, Eidgah, Mansarovar and Nirmala helped educate and reform the masses. One of his famous quotes was, to be successful in life, what is needed is education, not literacy and degrees. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, after whom the Teachers' Day is celebrated, was the second president and the first vice president of independent India. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan was a great teacher. He is considered one of the best teachers in Indian history. Teachers' Day in India is celebrated on his birthday. He gave importance to spiritual education and contributed significantly in understanding and sharing the most difficult concepts of philosophy. He imparted knowledge to students at Mysore Presidency College and even worked as a Vice Chancellor of Andhra University. He was friendly with his students. He used to teach students both at school and at home. A great teacher like him is an inspiration to many teachers and the great teachers in the world even today. He believed that a true teacher is one who helps us think for ourselves. And his famous quotes are, books are the means by which we build bridges between cultures. He further went on to quote, a life of joy and happiness is possible only on the basis of knowledge and science. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the missile man. Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was an aerospace scientist. He became the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. He was also known as a missile man for his contribution to India's nuclear and space engineering fields. He was also a scholar and a great teacher. He inspired millions of children to move forward in their lives. He understood the level of students and used to think and tell them like them. He loved spending time with children. He kept lecturing children till his last time. Kalam was a visionary and stressed integrating conventional teaching methods into modern educational practices. He emphasized that basic amenities like safe drinking water, playgrounds, and toilets are the things which every student deserves. He actually ignited 1 billion minds by his simplicity and his style of motivation. Some of his famous inspiring quotes are, all of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our talents. He further said, if you want to shine like a sun, first burn like a sun. He further went on to say, some of the brightest minds in the country can be found on the last benches of the classroom. He said, if you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning. To succeed in your mission, you must have single-minded devotion to your goal. These great teachers stand apart from the thousands of other teachers across the globe for their passion and commitment to teaching. Their lives show us the multiple roles of teachers in students' life. These teachers didn't confine teaching to the four walls of a classroom. They showed a world of opportunities to their students. Keeping these great teachers as our role models, how do we bring back some of the best ingredients of the Gurukul system into the modern day teaching? Which now the new education policy is trying to do. Let's see how it reinvents, remodifies the teaching scenario. For this, students and teachers can try to connect and their teachers at a personal level. It is an undeniable fact that without good teachers, there would be no scientists, politicians, engineers, doctors, writers, or artists. Teachers are the foundation of a good education system. When we talk about the role of a teacher in the learning process, it is not just in academics or sports, but also in the school of life. The teachers should not be afraid to think out of box and going that extra mile to teach what is not prescribed in the syllabus. At the same time, the parents should act as a bridge between the child and the teacher's emotional platform. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, has always shown appreciation and gratitude toward teachers. One of his famous quotes, "Parents give birth, the Guru gives life. These life givers are the soul of the magnificent building. The school building which the government can construct is like the body, but teachers are the soul." Very aptly said. In the end, I salute the entire teaching community today, as they are the vital software of civilization. At the same time, I call upon all teachers to strive to become worthy of being called acharyas in true sense of word. I need not remind you that good teachers build knowledge. Great teachers build character. Moreover, the teaching profession teaches all the other professions. On this note, I wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day once again. Thank you.